Yeah, we are in the place to.
Hello, look at the camera. Welcome to my list of my favorite Spiel des Jahres winning games all time. Now, why am I doing this? Just like that video I did last time, my favorite games from 2018, I'm going to say I don't know why I'm doing it. But at least you get to talk to me if you watch this and reply in the comments below. If you can see the comments below, if you're not on the TV, if you're on a website, you can comment below and discuss, because discussion makes the world go round, literally. Einstein just figured that out. It's like E equals mc squared. The C stands for conversation of squared people, like nerds. So this is squares. So this is, no offense. So this is why we do this, because E equals that. And so we're going to talk about games, board games. If you like video games, that's fine. But I'm not talking about that. So I thought I'd list, because there's been 41 winners of the Spiel des Jahres now. This huge award, it's done in Germany, but everyone in the board gaming community cares about it. Well, they might not care about it, but it's an award people around the world care about. Even if you don't, whoever you are watching this, why are you watching this? I don't know. But I thought I'd do this for a few reasons. One reason is because I like the games that win usually, and I love talking about games, and I got nothing else to say right now, so I'll talk about this, because they just announced the 2019 winner, Just One. That's the name of the game, and there was just one winner. It was called Just One. So that might be in the list, but also it will be. But also, I wanted to talk about this because it might be my favorite podcasts, Board Games to Go, with Mark. If you haven't watched that, you can't watch it, it's a podcast. But if you haven't listened to it, check it out. Search for it in your favorite podcast app. There you go, a free plug for Board Games to Go. But a couple of months ago, he did an episode where he ranked the 40 winners. This was before Just One had won Just One award, and but anyway, I'm not gonna rank all 40. What I'm gonna do is list them in chunks like he did. And I've ranked the top 23, okay? So you're going to get my top 23 Spiel des Jahres winners, and the other 17 or 18 I'm just going to briefly talk about in chunks, in levels. And that's sort of what he did. Ranking is really hard, he thinks, and I agree, because how do you compare an orange to an apple? Well, it depends on your feelings and how much sugar you want, or sweetness, or citrus. So, it's hard to... I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to do this for fun. If you don't like fun, then get out. No, sorry. Don't go away. Please subscribe. Please ring the bell if you can see it. If you're not on the TV, please comment below if you're on the website. All right. So here we go. The top 41. Now I'm not going to show them, so I don't know why I'm doing this on a video. I guess if I figure it out, I'll put the picture up here of the cover, so you can go find it. If I can figure that out, but I'm not holding them all up, because to hold up 40 games I'm gonna have to get 40 games out, and if I have them. So I'm just gonna talk. Yes, I shouldn't have done it as a video. Yes, I should have written it. Yes, I should have podcasted it, but this is just easier for me. I don't edit. So here we go. So I hope you don't get bored. But the point of this, like Mark did on the podcast, is to get people discussing and talking, because conversation makes the world go round. I think Albert Einstein said that. So, So what we're going to do is talk about... You don't have to, but we'll try. I'll talk, you can listen, and then you talk back if you want in the comments or whatever. But, so Mark did his list, and then heaps of other people were like, I never ranked the Spiel des Jahres winners before. So they all started doing it, and so I thought I'd do it too, and you can discuss this if you want. Alright, so the first chunk of games, there's 6 of them. These are games I haven't played. So of the 41 winners, I've played 35. So I'll just quickly list the ones I haven't played. So I haven't played Enchanted Forest from 1982. Looks fun though. Haven't played Focus from Sid Sackson in 1981. My brother has, he said it's good. So... it might have made the list, but I haven't played it. I haven't played Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective from 1985. That one that year. It's still in print. I'm just not that into deduction-y type things usually, but it's meant to be great. I haven't played Railway Rivals from 1984. I haven't played Aufwachs from Wolfgang Kramer in 1987. It's a truck driving game. It's just never been in English, and I haven't sorted out, found a copy that I could play. So sorry about that. And I haven't played Mississippi Queen from 1997, which has just been reprinted by Super Meeple. Looks good again, but I just haven't played those 6, so I couldn't rank them. I'd be kidding myself. So next I'm going to just list quickly 5 that I have played, but so long ago that I didn't know how to rank them or some other reason. So these 5 aren't in the list either. These 5 are 2000's winner Torres, 1999's winner Tikal, and 1996's El Grande, all by Kramer and Kiesling. Wow, what a duo. Now these are all great games, so called, but Torres and Tikal I can't remember, and El Grande I've played twice ages ago. It's considered the granddaddy of the area control games, but I need to play it again before I could rank it. I don't know. It's still in print too. In fact, those 3 are, I think. Sorry about that. They're not on the list. 1989's Cafe International. Don't think I've played in person. I've played the app a lot, so I didn't count that as something I could talk about. That's just come back into print too, I think. I think it's now it's Amigo. And 1979's Hare and Tortoise, the very first one, I've played a couple of times, but I mean, it didn't blow me away. Sorry about that, but I haven't played it again. So those 11, 6 I haven't played and 5 not really counted. Those 11 aren't in the list. Sorry about that. My top 23, I should say. Next, I'll quickly list 6 I didn't really like. So they're not in the list. And that'll leave us 23, I think. So there's 40 winners. No, 24. I got a top 24. A 23. Look, I don't know, but I've listed them, okay? So I'm not a professional reviewer here. I'm just listing stuff. So anyway, maybe I've got a top 24. I think I'm just working out the math. So 6 I haven't played, 5 or 8 years ago I've forgotten. Now 6 I didn't really like. 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 5, 17, 41 minus 17 is 24. So I got a top 24. Ignore the beginning where I said top 23. That was wrong. Okay, these 6, they're fine for me personally. I'm not a critic. I'm not a judge. I don't mean anything bad by these designers or publishers. I love them all. They're all fantastic people. It's just not my style, so they're not in the thing. And who cares what my style is, right? This is just to discuss. So these are probably 25 to 30. Yeah, these are ranked. I could have done a top 30. I'll just do a top 30. So forget what I said before about there being a top 24 and a top 23. Okay, the top 30. And these 6 are equal at 30 or whatever. Okay, so there's Colt Express. I played that a couple of times. It's cool. I get it. People love it. That's cool. But for me personally, it was really chaotic and confusing, annoying. I don't know. Now I feel really bad. I'm not trying to put anyone down. It's not my thing. But they won the award, and I see why. All these games. Okay, Liar's Dice or whatever. It's got a lot of other names from. Okay, Cold Express was 2015. Call My Bluff, Perudo, Liar's Dice, 1993. Nothing wrong with it. Played it a few times. I wouldn't turn it down. It's just there's other bluffing style games I much prefer. I'm not very good at it, so that helps me to not like it. 2011 Quirkle. It's good. It's fine. It's like a Connect 4 or 5 in a row type abstract thing. It's cool, and I'm glad it won. Very good for families. It's a good game. It's just not my style. 1998 Elfenland. Played that twice, I think. And it's by the designer Alan Moon of Ticket to Ride and other route building games. And he just gets very good at that. I think Elfenland is a bit clunky. It's been reprinted, but for me, I'd rather play a smoother, more clear game of what you're trying to do. But it's fun enough for people. And Niagara from 2005. It looks amazing. It's clever. It's gimmicky in a good way. I like the idea of the game, but for me it was very repetitive and not much going on. So I'm glad it won. It's great, but just not for me. So those were the... Oh, and Codenames from 2016. Now, you might think, do I hate it? No, I don't hate it, but I played it dozen times more, and it just got very done, I guess. And it became it became hard to get to the table and hard to enjoy because you have to be very creative in that game, and some people hate having to be creative on the spot, which I get. And also it was very quiet. Like for 5 minutes it feels like one person's just staring at the board trying to think of a clue, and then everyone else then gets 10 seconds of bedlam to try and figure out the answer to the clue, and then you're back to quiet again. And often people who can't think of a clue just give really simple ones, so you guess one part correct. Anyway, those are the 6 that aren't in my top 24. So now we're going to list these. These are games I all like, and I wanted to rank them, which sounds really rude, but we'll just do it. Okay, number 24 from 1990. Can you guess what it is? It's Adelverpflichtet, otherwise known as Hoity Toity. This is by Klaus Teuber, who did Catan as well. It was released by Spiel, I think, first, but don't take my word for it. This is a really... I've got to go quick, I think, because we're going really long here. And now that the interesting part's about to start, I'm running out of time. So, this is a really weird game. It's quite long for what it is, I think. I think it needs a reworking if it was to be reprinted. But it's very clever. We're bidding to do certain things with cards and money, sort of predicting what other people will do, so we'll get the better spots free at a better price. And you're trying to buy trinkets and things you're going to put in your house because you're rich and stuff, and collect runs or sets of these things. But just the way it works is very clever, and I've not seen it in a game really. We're using this hand of cards to bid for spots, actions. You're bidding for the right to do an action, and no one knows what you've bid till it all gets revealed, and it's pretty cool. But it's a bit long, so it's at 24. It's just for what it is. Okay, 23. Don't despair, Klaus being number 24, because number 23 in my list is yours too. That's from 1988, 2 years before. That's Barbarossa. It's a game about fighting on the Eastern Front. Russia? No, it's not. It's a game about making things out of Play-Doh, like Pictionary, but you're making the things out of clay, and you put these weird things that end up all looking like different drops of fluid and stuff on a central board, and then it's actually a roll and move game, I think, because you roll the dice to go around this circle to do actions like ask for a clue, guess what something is. Everyone who's playing has their item in the middle, and after a while, through elimination and guessing, you get to guess correctly what other people have made. And the game came with clues that you could use, but I think it's cool just to make up your own. It's really weird though. It's not just make a thing out of clay and guess what it is, like Pictionary is draw something and guess what it is really fast. It's slow and steady, and you're looking for an hour at these objects. What in the world is that? It's funny, it's weird, and it's a game I think you only need to play once, dare I say it, which is very hoity-toity of me, because it's bizarre and silly and weird, but it's also something I don't feel the need to keep playing. But to experience it is quite an experience, hence the word, its definition. Number 22 is not by Klaus Teuber, it's by Michael Schacht. It's called Zularedo. It's from 2007. It's a game where you're collecting different animals and putting them in your zoo enclosures. It's big, it's great, it's beautiful, it's cool, it's clever, it's simple but tricky. I think, to be honest, the only reason it's so low at 22 is because I just prefer Coloretto, which is the card game that came out before Zularedo from Michael Schacht, which is the same system but much more distilled, and it's all about numbers and colors, which a lot of people won't like, and animal types is much more interesting, I guess. But for me, I just love that quicker, simpler card game for some reason, because the core mechanic of putting a card in a row, and then once it's got 3 it's full, and then people have to choose either to play a card or take a collection, and there are negative things that can come out as well to ruin that collection, and what you collect determines how you score. It's all so angsty and interactive, and it's just in that card game really nicely. But Zularedo is great, it's just I don't really play it anymore because of that. But it's cool. 21 is 1980s Rummy Cube, is how I say it. It's spelled Rummy Cub, but I'm pretty sure it's Rummy Cube because you play with rectangular tiles which are similar to cubes because they're rectangles but they're not cubes. So Rummy Cube, and yeah, it's a rummy game where you're making sets of stuff, but you're using domino tile type things, not cards, as in a deck of cards in a normal rummy game. And to be honest, I can't. This could have gone below in the games I haven't played for ages, but I still remember this well enough to rank it. It's just I'm not. I'd really like to play it again and see if it goes up or down. It's so old school. You can still get it probably in, mass market type shops, but definitely in game shops. And it's a very family, old school, traditional feeling game. So it's 40 years old maybe, but it's still very, it feels like it could be 100 years old because it is so close to Rummy. But it just adds a few twists and it's fun and it feels good to have these big tiles. So 21 is Rummy Cube. Okay, top 20. 1983, Scotland Yard. This is by 4 people. Werner, Dorothy, and someone else that's cut off. And another one. So Scotland Yard, I've still got my original copy over there from probably mid-80s. This was a game I was playing when I was a kid before I knew the Spiel des Jahres happened. This is one of the games that actually made it over to English-speaking countries from Germany early on when the awards were new. So this is the 4th winner. Rummy Cube was the 2nd winner. Oh no, this is the 5th winner. Who cares? But I've still got in that original set all the papers we used for Mr. X. So when we played this game, I was pretty much always Mr. X. I'd take it to people's houses, force them to play it. So I've played it 30, 40 times easily. It's a game where Mr. X is secretly somewhere on a board of London and the other players are trying to track him down based on the clues they get. So like I took a taxi here, I took a bus here, and they try and figure it out. I played it again a year or so ago with adults and it was way easy. So I don't know if it's really a kid's game or it's definitely a family weight game. I'm not sure, but for what it is, it's really good. It sort of started the genre of one versus many in a hidden board type thing. There's been a few of them. It's fun. It's good. It does what it does really well. You can still get it. So check it out. Scotland Yard. Okay, 19 is 1919. I almost said 1919s. 19 is 1991's Drunter und Drüber or Wacky Wacky West. Yeah. This is a game, another Klaus Teuber. So he's won 3 on my list already. Will he win another? On my list. This is a tile laying game where you're playing tiles to go across the board of the West. And I forget how many. Is there 3 different things? Like a river, a town. I forget. And you're building the tiles across the board. And you get to build toilets as well, which is everyone's favorite thing. I just really liked it because I love tile placement games, like Carcassonne type thing. Spoiler. And this is just a neat little thing, and there's a lot of player interaction because you have to auction off the right to play tile sometimes, something like that. It's just sweet, simple, clear, bit of fun. It's wacky. It's in the West. Drunter and Drüber. Okay, another German title for 1992's Reifenbreiter. This is one that still hasn't come over in English. It's a bicycle riding game, like Tour de France type thing. And it really, it's quite long, and there's a bit of randomness in there. These might work against it for some players, but for me, I really liked it because it really feels like you're in a bike race. The way the bikes you've got a group of riders and they sort of work with each other, cut the wind resistance. What do you call it when you zoom behind someone because they're covering the wind a bit? And it's cool because the board setup, you can cut parts off just in your mind or add bits to make the course longer or shorter or more difficult because you go uphill, downhill, all this stuff. It's a simple system where you play cards with numbers to determine how far you go or how fast you go. But there are these action cards that come out as well, which are a bit random and muck people up. It's really funny though when people fall off bikes. It can happen and your bike goes off to the side for a turn and you get in people's way. It's quite a good game. I really like it. Okay, number 17 is this year's winner, Just One. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means I love these games and there's a lot above it. But Just One's a great little game. It just won this year. Is it Salte and Rudy? I think are the designers. Forgive me if that's wrong. I think they also did Seventh Continent, one of the biggest, more complex things of recent years. But this is so simple. It's a reworking of their older game I haven't played. But in this game, there's a clue. Someone closes their eyes. They have to guess the clue. Do it now. Everyone else has to... So I'll put the clue up there. That's what I have to guess. Everyone else has to write on their little boards one word to be a clue to that. And then they show each other's clues, and if there's any double ups, they're gone. So it can be really hard. Okay, so now I'll guess. Oh, I can't see what you did. So that didn't work. But it's really fun. It's one of those games where you don't care about the points. You just keep playing. It can be hilarious where you've only got one clue. Or very few and you still guess it. The only thing about it is it can be really easy. Like once we got cheese as the clue. So the people wrote like brie, Swiss, camembert. You know, and because they were so different, it was obvious it was cheese. Even if one or two got knocked out, it wouldn't matter. But that's cool. That's fine. It's fun. Okay, 16 is from 2013. It's Hanabi. It's a card game by Antoine Bowser, who's the only designer who also won the Kenner Spiel with Seven Wonders. Hanabi is a card game where you're trying to play your cards around the table to ascending sets, ascending numbers of colors, but you can't see your cards. That's all you need to know. And everyone else gives clues to you, so you think you know what you are, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to play this card here. Yes, it was a 2 on top of a 1. That's good. I'm going to play. Now I know this is a 3, so I'm going to play. Oh, it was I made a mistake. You blew up. So it's another game that's silly fun. It can get overthought, I think, for me. I like to just play it, but some people like to think a lot, and it becomes technical, and there's codes you use to tell each other what you've got in your hand, but whatever. Do it how you like. Okay, number 15 is Alhambra from 2003 by Dirk Henn. Another great game with a quirky... It's very simple. It's another tile-laying game where you're building your... Not a town. I forget what that... Your Alhambra. Right. But it's cool because the way you get the tiles is by paying with money, and there's different colors of cards is your money, and the different colors are different currencies. And if you play with, you can pay, like if something costs, say, just making this up, 10 green, and you play a 6 and a 4, that's exact, you get 2 turns. Whereas if you played a 6 and a 5, you still get it, but it wasn't exact, so you just get 1 turn. There's a lot of nice hand management in there. It's pretty cool. You still get it from Queen Games. I like it a lot. It's been very successful, I think. Okay, 14 is 2002's Villa Paletti. This might be the only dexterity game that's ever won. You're building a tower like Jenga type thing, but the tower's way more precarious. You've got dice that you roll to tell you which color pillar to put in from memory. And sometimes you don't want to, it just falls over. It's over in 5-10 minutes because you will make it fall over. It's precarious, it's silly, it's fun. It's Villa Paletti. 13 is 1986's Top Secret Spies, although my copy, which might be behind me somewhere, is called Undercover. But there's all sorts of names for this one. This made it to mass market too, I think. But this is a roll and move game where you roll the dice and you move one of the investigators. Each player is an investigator, and there's probably some that aren't players that you don't know about in there too. And you move anybody. Doesn't matter who. But depending on where it moves, it will score differently when the time comes to score. And we're trying to not only... We want to figure out who you are so we can mess you up. So you want to not just move yours to the good places, because we'll figure that's you and we'll move you to bad places. The advanced mode is even better, where you have to not just... the game ends when someone gets to 40 points, I think, but you earn points after the game for correctly guessing who people are. It's simple, but I love it a lot. Okay, number 12 is 2010's Dixit. This is a huge successful party game where the one person takes turns to... You take turns, you choose a card from your hand, all different amazing pictures on them, and you pick a clue for that card. It could be a word, a sentence, a sound effect, a song, like there, and you yeah, or going on a journey, and you play the card, and then everyone else picks a card they think also relates to that clue, and you probably will put one off the deck to mix it all up. You show them out, people vote on which they think was the clue giver's card, and you get points for people picking yours, but not everyone. You don't want it to be too easy. It's clever, it's great, it's hilarious. If you're in the right mood, right group, that's Dixit. Number 11 is 2008's Keltis. Now I'm going to cheat. See up there, Lost Cities? Okay, that's Lost Cities, the board game. So I think from memory, that was what Mr. Dr. Kenichi designed. It's similar to his card game, but it's bigger and it's a board game, and it's 2 to 4 players, and I love it. It's number 11. But then Cosmos, wasn't it? They wanted something more abstract, so they sort of rethemed it to Celtic imagery stuff and changed a couple of the rules, and Keltis was the game. But now it's gone back to Lost Cities, and I love it. It's so you've got to play ascending or descending numbers of cards from memory. You can't do both, just one or the other, to move your explorers on these different tracks, and as they go, they pick up different things. It's great because you can play the 1-round version, which takes probably 20 minutes, or the 3-round version where the scoring is altered and different and things build up. It's just a perfect modern board game for me. I'm glad it won. But now we're in the top 10, so if that was perfect, these are even more perfect, right? Top 10 begin. Okay, number 10 is 1994's Manhattan. This is by Andreas Seyfarth, who did Puerto Rico and an actual Spiel des Jahres winner with his wife, which might come up soon, we'll see. Spoiler. Manhattan is a game where you're actually building huge skyscrapers with these plastic things. It just got recently reprinted from Korea, but it's in English, that edition too, I think. And you score at the end of each round. There's 4 rounds for having each building you're on the top of, your color piece, the tallest building, and then having the most buildings in each of the 6 areas. It's very simple. You play a card that tells you where you can place, but because you're sitting in different parts of the board, the card's orientation is different for everybody, so it's pretty cool. But you place one in one of the 6 regions, and hopefully you'll be on top at the end. But people mess with your plans a lot. Lots of interaction. Another one of those games with very simple rules, but lots of interaction. Really like it. Look it up. Number 9 is Camel Up, 2014, Stefan Bogan. I don't think many people in the hardcore board gaming circles are a fan of this one. They think it's too random, but it's a game about racing camels, but it's not a camel racing game. It's actually a prediction type, playing the odds, bidding type of thing, gambling game. So you don't have much control over where the camels are going to go. No one owns the camels, but you can bet. That's it, a betting game on who you think will win, and choosing when to bet. So the longer you wait, the more information you've got, but you'll also pay off worse. So the longer you take to decide is the core thing of this game. It's really silly fun. Amazing things happen where camels don't do what you'd expect, like in real life. Yeah, and I just think it's clever, silly, and fantastic. And the new edition that's just come out looks amazing. I haven't played it, but it looks amazing. So please check it out. Give it a go. It works great with kids as well, in my experience. And it plays like 6. The expansion, maybe it goes to 10 players, but 6 is amazing. There's so much betting going on, so much crazy stuff. And then when that camel actually is in the front that you never expected to, but you had bet on it, wow. I think it's amazing. It's perfect. Okay, number 8 is 2017's King Domino, which I can see there. Camel Up is just there, I think. Yep, that's it. You can't really see it. But that's King Domino. It's a game where there's domino tiles, but they're beautifully illustrated, one side on the other, different terrain types. And you're playing them to a grid, another tile laying game. I said I love these. And you're trying to get continuous groups of the same floor type, ground type, and you score for because of the crowns that are in it. Doesn't matter, but you score them. But the cool thing is how you get the tiles. You're basically deciding sort of, do I want to be earlier in the player order or get that tile I really want? It's just very clever. It's very simple. Check it out. It's perfect. 2017's King Domino. Number 7 is 2018's Azul, which is behind this shoulder, so you can't see it, and I'm not going to move. Cover up even more. So Azul is a Michael Kiesling game. He's won a lot, mostly with Mr. Kramer, but Mr. Kramer! Seinfeld? No. But Michael Kiesling. So Azul is a great abstract game where you're collecting tiles off pools of tiles. Another tiling game. Different colors. And you take all of one color from that pool and then whatever's left goes in the middle to make another bigger pool. And it's really cool to try and predict ahead what you're going to be able to get, because you can't take too many. You want just enough to score in this way that I won't explain. But it looks amazing. The pieces are great. And it works great with 2, 3 or 4 players, I think. And I think the reason why it won, just like many of these games, is you can play it really casual. Really just take some tiles, put them down. Or you can play really cutthroat and hardcore, where you're trying to mess with each other and make sure they get left stuff they don't want. Just like the next one, number 6, it has the same thing. And I'll just jump to that. Number 6 is 2004's Ticket to Ride by Alan Moon, one of the great classics of the 21st century. Not much I can say about it. It's a game for 2 to 4 play. I'll say something about it. It takes an hour or more. You're building routes across America with these plastic trains. But you collect tickets. You score for the route, but you get tickets, and if you connect that spot to that spot, you get more points. But if you don't, you lose those points. You try and predict what other people are doing, get in their way. It's another very simple game. That since the 2000s, all these games are pretty simple and straightforward, but there's so many layers in the strategy, and that's why I like them. And I'll play these anytime. So that's 6. Now we're up to the top 5. So these are the most perfect games that have ever been winners of the Spiel des Jahres, I think. Okay, number 5 is 2009's Dominion. Wow, this could be the game that caused the Kenner Spiel to be introduced, because this is a bit harder. It's a game, the first so-called deck building game, where you're building your deck of cards during the game and you play them on your turn, you shuffle, you come back, and you've bought more in the meantime. And you're trying to score points with these cards. They combo off each other so that you earn more money to buy the really good points cards. But they also clutter your deck, the points cards. There's been a jillion, literally, expansions. It's an amazing, ever-expandable game. It's by Donald X. Vaccarino. And I just think, like, when this first came out, we couldn't stop playing it. It blew my mind. It was brand new. It was amazing. Just like the game that I'm about to say for number 4 for me. But we played it over and over and over again. I wish I counted plays back then, because I'd be interested to know how many times I played Dominion. It's amazing. I'll play it now. I think it's a brilliant design. Yes, other deck builders have come out that are great. Yes, it's evolved, and it's now considered a mechanic as part of a game, not just the game. But deck building and Dominion, I love them. So I might marry them. Okay, number 4 is 1995's The Settlers of Catan, or Catan, by Klaus Teuber. You know this game, I think. It's still a million seller. It's amazing. It's great. This was the first game I played to get into hobby gaming in the early 2000s. I'd always played board games. When I played this, I went to the next level. When my brother came this over, I thought, wow, it's like a video game where I'm building on a sort of a simple tech tree. But it's like Monopoly in that I'm rolling 2 dice, but I don't move, I get stuff. And everyone gets stuff. And there's bidding, like trading and interaction. It's amazing. I still think it's terrific. I'd still play it today if anyone else really wanted to play it. There it is there. With some expansions. I can't point at it. But I think you know this one. It's fantastic. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, it would have been number 1. If you ask me in 10 years, it might be number 20, to be honest, because I hardly play it, but I hold it in such high regard, if you care. Okay, top 3. These are the most perfect of all. Number 3 is 2006's Turn and Taxis, which is right there. I've probably been near others that I haven't pointed out, but there's Turn and Taxis. So many will say it's bland because it's about delivering letters in Germany. Yeah, sure, whatever. No offense, Germany, but it's amazing, and I just love it. This is by Andreas Seyfarth and Karen Seyfarth, who did Manhattan, and it's just great. I don't know why, but something about this game just sings for me. Every turn you can choose one of 4 special actions if you want, which you will, so that you hype up your turn a bit. Hyper! And you're just basically collecting cards to build a route to then place letter post offices on this board in the route, and you're trying to get them everywhere for different reasons. And it's just, I don't know, I know it looks a bit plain and it plays a bit plain, but something about it just sings for me. It amazes me. Now, this was the first Spiel des Jahres winner I cared about, as in I was following the hobby when this came out, and I bought it sight unseen, and I'm so glad I did. I just love it. And there are expansions which I don't have. They're hard to get now, but I played them online. They're amazing. They change just a little bit about the game, like add a different map or different ways to score. I love it. I don't know why, but it's perfect. Check it out. Okay, number 2. Number 1 and number 2 and number 3 and number 4 and number 5. To be honest, the top 5 I could play now, anytime, anywhere, except in the bath. And it's great. Probably 6 to 10, just one tiny step down from that. They're all really similar. Dominion, Ticket to Ride, Azul, King Domino, Camel Up, Manhattan. But wow, top 2? Seriously, if the house burned down, I could live with losing my 200-300 games or more. But these 2 I'd want to keep, the top 2, if I could, if I didn't hurt myself in the burning. So number 2 is 2001's Carcassonne, and you can see I've got a few Carcassonnes there, but I've played many others. But I can't, even though I love these other ones, I'll just talk about that one, and there's an expansion there, and there's heaps of expansions. Tile Laying game. Okay, so just like Settlers of Catan, this was my second hobby game I played. And I love puzzles, I've always loved jigsaws, and this felt like Jigsaw Puzzle the game. The pieces connect almost any way, though. There's not one set way to do it. And the way the players interact determine how the map will build over time. And you're building to score in 4 different ways. Your towns, your roads, your monasteries, and your fields. And the choice of when to put your guys in those places to try and score, when to screw with other people instead of helping yourself, it's just fantastic. Simple, sweet, beautiful, ever expandable, always a different experience. I could play it over and over again. With the app, I've played it hundreds and hundreds of times. I don't know, I forgot how many I played in person. I'll never know really, because I wasn't tracking it before. But Carcassonne, oh. But number 1, which is up there because I got the big box edition, which you can't see. It's huge. I got all the expansions, all the modules, everything. So I can play it in 50 different ways. It's great. It's up there. You can't see it. Not going to get it down. It's 2012's Kingdom Builder by Donald X. Vaccarino, who also did Dominion. So even though Toiba's got 3 or 4 on my list, and even though Kenichi's been nominated for 10, and even though Rudiger Dorn's lost 20, and even though, yeah, whatever, and Klaus-Jürgen Werder and Andreas Seyfarth, they're all on here. Kramer. Donald X. Vaccarino's got 2 in my top 6. That's pretty... No, top 5. Wow. And I'm not saying Kingdom Builder just to be, controversial, because some people hate that game to bits. It's my favourite game probably of all time. It just is. It's clean, but it's infinitely variable. It's always different because the maps change, the way you score changes. You can add in all the expansions, but you don't have to. It's just by changing the map, changing the powers that are on the map, changing the scorecards, it's totally different feeling every single time. It's amazing. I love it. All you do is draw a card, place a settlement on a hex of that type on your card. But the whole way you really play is to make sure that whatever card you draw, you're in a situation where that card is good for you. So it's all about minimizing damage, maximizing opportunity. Wow, I sound really good here. just simply drawing a card, placing a settlement. But because the scoring changes every time, what you're trying to do is always different. But the more you play, the better you get. And as I said, it's just about minimizing damage because you don't know what single card you're going to get. And some people have said, oh, they should change it. You draw 2 so you have choice. As soon as you do that, it's going to be simple. It's going to be smooth. Like, no hiccups, no bumps. I don't want to do that. I want to have to draw that card and go, oh, why did I put that guy there? Because now I can't connect properly. I have to go back over there because of this card. Because you always have to play adjacent to what you've already done. But these special powers you're trying to get, and there's a big strategy in trying to choose which power to get and when. You can break those placement rules a bit. It just sings for me. And I could play that 10 times a day. I love it that much. Especially with the expansions. I've got so much content in that box I've never got to. But just mixing one new thing in each time really changes the game. Look at the camera. So that's my top 24, top 41 if you want. You can get angry at me in the comments below.